So recently I rediscovered my massive collection of my old Fakemon designs, and I decided, hey, why not try and make them into new animated Gen 5 Pokemon sprites? So I thought that would be a cool Pokemon challenge for sprites. Yeah, you get it. Now, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So, how about we steal your attention with this little guy? Yeah, I'm good at jokes. So, there's plenty of stuff to tell about this and every other design, so be sure to not miss out and not skip around. Anyways, the Fakemon themselves didn't have any names or other data like that, except rules, special stats for a tabletop game-like thing, so I had to improvise and come up with special names for each of them. To make it even more related to my ideas, in the creation of the names I involved Latvian names, due to some of the latest additions to the pile, which was like 3 to 4 years ago, were creations for a Latvia-inspired region. As for the spriting process, I decided to use the simple design of the little fella to make as smooth of an idle animation as possible. Like the frame count was at like 149. I, in each of the frames, made very slight adjustments and movements, so the transitions between the frames look as smooth as possible, which results in a very nice animation like this. Oh, who's a good little wallet stealer? Oh yes, you are! So now that we got the sprite creation out of the way, let's compare it to the actual OG design which I made few years ago, and also the origins of the name. Well, Coiglis comes of course from the name coin and thief in my language, which is Zaglis. How can we have a Fakemon video if we don't have early Route 1 bugs? Come on, Kitty, don't be shy. Yeah, pretty cool, sure, but get the fuck out of here, because we got this guy. As you'll see very quickly for yourself, our mole friend here will end up being the most changed design-wise by the end of the video. But that doesn't mean automatically that it's better than the original, so help me figure out which one is better by letting me know in the comments. Anyways, back to the spriting process. Just like the rest, I use the images of the Fakemon as the basis for getting a rough shape of the body or a part of it drawn. Then adjust it to something newer and move on to the next until I get the outline for it done. After tinkering for a bit with the colors and trying to not overdo it, I get to the idea of making the frames change every 50 milliseconds to get the wing flapping animation to look much better, while animating the body itself on every second frame, which ends with a result looking like... Now that's what you call mesmerizing. Can't take my eyes off it. So, now that you have finally got a look at the new and remade design, do you think that the original or this one is better? Please do let me know. But of course, we also need to see what is the origin for the name. Well, of course Psychic, and the other half is Moth in my language, which is Nachtstorinch. Cool. I think that this is a pretty cool starter line, so how about we turn it into a sprite? Especially this big boy. A challenge I was not expecting at all was figuring out how the heck am I going to remake the Flame Trunker into sprite form, especially since its design works so well on paper, literally, instead of being turned into a sprite, so I had no real good choice except turning it into my desired outcome by also changing some of its design aspects along the way. After reconfiguring and redesigning stuff like its legs, head, and actually all of the body in some sort of way, I can finally reach something that I can start working on. I get the colors done rather quickly and struggle for a bit with how the shading could work with the body, but the main big time consumer only popped up later unexpectedly, which was animating the sludge and flames at the back of the head on each frame to, well, make it look like actual sludge and fire. Yeah, it makes much more sense now why the total time ended up being 2 hours 20 minutes. I wonder how a one-to-one sprite design would have turned out. Plenty of tedious sludge animating later, we finally have finished this design, and not gonna lie, OG design kinda smacking nice. But for the name, of course, can't forget about that. Toksisk comes from literally the way you say toxic in my language, without the S at the end, I guess. Quick interruption, I recently opened channel memberships where you can get daily updates, sprites straight from me and videos just for members, while also having other cool stuff. Be sure to check it out, back to the video. We got this fella, and we got this fella. Cool line, sure, but let's ignore this guy. And lastly, we have arrived to my final Fakemon for the video, but the thing that makes this much more unique compared to the other three is that I made the sprite and the animation while being abroad on a barely functioning laptop. That was very fun, but hey, can't let you go without a tasty new serving of quality content. I started out of course by drawing rough shapes of the parts, reshaping it into a better fitting style that matches Gen 5 better, improve the perspective, and work on the colors to give it a nicer pop. Then end the sprite design section by doing a good old relaxing round of shading that works well with the clown car-like thing from Super Mario. Diving a bit more deeper into the spriting process, putting the much harder working environment aside, the basic of the spriting and animation are somewhat similar to Psychinch's process. Give simple movements to the body, then on a quicker frame move the other noteworthy part on each frame, this time it being the claw. Sure, it's pretty cool, but how do I get the little one separately? And now the fourth one of the quartet has been finished. Now comparing it to the original, a little bit more saturated, but it kinda works in its own way. As for the name, you know, Astion, it comes from Astral, which is Astrals in my language, and Minion. Yeah, and oh, right, Bastion. And that finishes the video about me remaking my old childhood Fakemon designs into new animated sprites. Please do let me know if you like this video by liking and letting me know in the comments your favorite design. But yeah, it was an absolute blast digging back into the past. And if you want to see more of this, like I said, comment down below, and otherwise, stay tuned for more.